Hey, welcome. I apologize for that. But welcome, my soul circle. And just to let you know, today is a very special day. It's a special day for me as we gather here today amongst friends. And I, your host, Desiree, we are having our new edition of That's My Song. And this one is That's My Song, Veterans Day, the Buffalo Soldiers. So make sure you tell all your friends to click on it, listen up, and everything so that we can all sit around and talk and discuss with our hot cocoa, our hot tea, and just relax and listen about the Buffalo Soldier and Veterans Day. Right here on www.lifeenhancementradio.com. You know, I know so many active and inactive military folks, right? So, and that means men and women and men that are active as well as inactive, retired military men and women. And yes, women are part of military history. I know some of us do forget, but yes, women are part of military history. From when women held down the country's progression, you know, in that day-to-day life, while the men were in the front line until now, where women are on the front line as well, fighting for justice and, you know, fighting for victory and fighting to make sure that the U.S. is very strong in any of the battles that it might participate in. So I may forget some, but, you know, charge that to my mind, not my heart, starting with in terms of active and inactive military people. So starting with, of course, my brother, Derek Marcano, he's a vet. My sister, Donna Marcano, she's a vet. Jason Scott, he's a vet. Donald Jeffries, he's a vet. And thank you to all of the people that I list. There's also Teresa Douthit. Thank you for all that you do. Jackie Peterson and her son, they're both vets. And everyone else that, you know, that I've met along the way that have shared their story and their military story with me. Again, if I forget somebody, you know, that does not diminish their fight and what they've done in order to strengthen America in its battles and stuff. Today, I'm so excited to share with you Soul Circle listeners. I have two special guests today. There's Curt Clarke, and there's also a spoken word poet by the name of Life Speaks Life. And we're going to learn more about each of them when they come on the show today. And, you know, they talk with us and, you know, answer some of our questions and everything. So I'm going to play the first song that is my song. Because this song, when I hear it, it so brings to mind two things. Not only does it bring to mind the military, but it also brings to mind music. If you listen to it, it's not just about the military, but it's actually about a gentleman who's in the military and he's really into jazz music and playing music and, you know, just music and the military, the two M's, Eminem. So here's our first song. It is the Andrews Sisters, Bugle Boy.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a-blowin' reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a tooty-lad, a tooty blows it eight to the bar. in boogie rhythm. You can't blow a note unless a bass and guitar is playing with him. He makes a company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie-woogie bugle, he was busy as a bzz bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump A to the bar. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Do-do-do-do-da-da, do-da-da, do-do, he blows it A to the bar. He can't blow a note if the bass and guitar isn't with him. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's a boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Sleep with boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bright. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really breaks it up. When he plays reveille, he's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B. Jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie-woogie bugle boy of Company B.
So I'm sure that everybody, that song right there, Bugle Boy, just says, the military. And if you pay attention to the words of the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, she talks about how he's a trumpet man from out of Chicago, right? So this trumpet man, apparently he must get drafted or some sort, but he's a bugle boy. And so he plays for the troops, but it's all about military life and of course music as well. So first, I just want to, before we get into our first guest, which I'm so very, very excited about, I just want to give some background on Veterans Day. So, we all, we get the day off on Veterans Day, right? But Veterans Day is much more than that. There is a history behind it. And it so drives me crazy when people don't think about the history that is involved with certain events. So Veterans Day was formerly known as the Armistice Day, Armistice Day, and was originally set as a U.S. legal holiday to honor the end of World War I on November 11th. That's why November 11th, we do Veterans Day, because it started November 11th of 1918, and that was the end of the war at that time. There's a whole amendment where they talk about, I'll read some of the language about November 11th. But whereas the 11th of November 1918 marked the cessation of the most destructive, sanguinary, and far-reaching war in human annals and the presumption by the people of the United States for peaceful relations with other nations, which we hope may never again be severed. So we don't want any more peaceful dealing. We don't want any more destructive dealings with other countries. We want peace. And that's where we kicked in with November 11th. So it's so I get that from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So please check out that website to learn more, because there's so much more that they say. So I'm going to bring on our first guest. Curt, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Everybody, that is Curt. Now, can I just share my bias with my Soul Circle listeners? I'm going to share my bias, which is, this is one of my favorite cousins. This is one of my favorite cousins who's been in the military, and he knows about the military. And he has a lot to share with us today about his time in the military and so forth. So, Curt, while I know you as my cousin, What was are you in active military service right now?
No, and before I answer that, well, I already did, but you are my favorite cousin. That bit of detail with the world.
Oh.
And I love you beyond words.
Oh, and you know it's ditto. I don't want to show my age, everybody, but ditto just means I copy and I send the same emotions back to him.
Yeah, but I am retired. I served 26 years in the Marine Corps, and I'm retired now. Just continue to work and take care of family after retiring from the military.
Okay. So, one thing that I know I would love for you to share is, I had the opportunity to attend your retirement. How long ago was your retirement?
Oh, you get me to think back. I want to say it was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
2013.
Okay, and you know that your ceremony, it was an amazing ceremony. Soul Circle listeners, if all of you could have been there and witnessed just all of the everybody having respect for one another, everybody having respect for their service to this country. And he also showed me some big planes and stuff that were used. So that was also exciting for me. But yeah, so I since I had that opportunity to attend your retirement, and it was a very amazing ceremony. Your beautiful wife, Angel, was there, and all of your children, your 4 children, they were there, and you also had friends and family. But yes, I feel like I recall you talking about there were some elder men there that were in the military. What are those elder men? What were they from?
Well, they're very distinguished part of our military history, not just as Marines, but when I look at me being African American and much less being from the Caribbean islands and becoming a naturalized citizen, you just dealt with immigration and all this other stuff within our recent campaigns. But I'm now serving in the Marine Corps, so I'm learning that history of the men that went before me, those individuals that known as Tuskegee Airmen, and you might have heard of the Red
Wow.
So I was blessed to be part of helping to preserve their legacy, and in that process of doing different programs with those men within the Hampton Roads community, because I live here in the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News area.
Right.
So from doing different events with them and educating, our youth, and they get to meet these great men and helping in that process, I develop a relationship and a friendship with them. So at the end of my career, having them show up to my retirement was beyond words. I mean, not only as Tuskegee Airman, but as a Marine, the first African American Marines that went to boot camp to earn the title Marines are known as the Montford Point Marines, and they went to a segregated boot camp between 1942